What's going on, guys, and welcome to today's video. And today we're going to be talking about chassis protectors. Now, if you're new to carpet racing, this might be something you haven't heard of, because honestly, I guess I hadn't really heard of it before I got into carpet racing. All of my previous, track stuff had been on dirt. And dirt, there's not really much talk or requirement, I guess I should say, for a chassis protector. Now, what the issue is our exposed screws on the bottom of an aluminum chassis plate, or any chassis for that matter, on carpet tracks. The issue comes up, or the issue could happen, is if you have a screw back out or have a rough edge of the chassis or something like that, you go off a jump, land, snag a string or run of carpet and go tearing away. You start digging holes in the track and it's no good. Carpet is not cheap out at carpet tracks. So that's why most, or at least my local carpet indoor track requires a chassis protector. Now, there's a couple of, multiple options, I guess I should say. There are cool factory, pre-cut with cool, carbon fiber looking or different brands on the bottom. I can throw a couple of those up on screen. But again, those cost a little bit of money, and you need to order them and wait for it to show up and all of that stuff. There's a couple of cheaper options that I run, at least, that I've ran on my vehicles. I guess the cheapest option is just packing tape. You can take a run of packing tape, lay it down on the chassis, trim it out, and boom, you're done. You may even already have packing tape sitting at your house. So that would be the cheapest option. But if you're trying to, look like a real racer out there, because I'm not a good driver, so I need to look the part at least, I have bought vinyl. This is absolutely the pretty much cheapest vinyl you can find on eBay. And I actually had this already for a previous project. This is just car wrapping vinyl. I have attempted to wrap one of my personal vehicles before. It was pretty interesting, but I ended up with extra scrap parts and pieces from doing that project, and I have found that to work really well as a chassis protector. So I'm just going to quickly show you guys, throwing that down. We'll trim it out, and it looks to me cooler or nicer than just running packing tape. And again, there are a million different colors on eBay that you could purchase, any color. There's graphics, all kinds of stuff. And you could buy a large roll. So you could do it multiple times versus a chassis protector that you would purchase from ProTech or somebody like that you'd put it on, and if you needed to do maintenance or repairs, you'd be peeling that off to get to the screw heads. That would kind of suck if you had to peel off your kind of cool $15 or whatever it is chassis protector just to throw it away and put another one on. With this, I don't care at all. I have a large roll of this stuff, and I can just peel it off with no care in the world and redo it when the time comes. So that's why we are doing this. I had a little incident at the track and bent a chassis plate, and so we are fresh chassis plate. We've got some fresh front suspension, but we need to get a chassis protector thrown back on this thing so it can go out and play. So depending on your vinyl, this one has a top layer that we need to peel off, just a clear layer, and that layer may actually already be peeled off. So again, we will pull this off, and again, we're just throwing it down over the large portion of the chassis, and then we are working kind of from the inside out, trying to keep all of the bubbles out. And I do need to get this body off this thing so we can work a little bit better here. So with that body off, you can, just like I said, from the inside out, just start working that vinyl along the chassis plate, up the sides of the chassis plate. And again, we're just trying to get all of the large air pockets out of this thing for a better result, so it sticks better. It just kind of does everything. Now what I just use a single-sided razor blade, and I'll start with getting a lot of the bulk off of this thing, and then you can kind of start doing some of your finer detail work. So like I said, once you get some of that bulk off there, you'll be able to kind of get it to lay down a little bit nicer, and start running that razor blade around for some of the, just finer details running around that chassis plate. And again, guys, just take your time. It doesn't have to be perfect, because again, these are kind of temporary, or if you need to access any of these screws in the future, you're going to be peeling off your work. So it doesn't have to be perfect, because it is going to, get worn. When you are jumping and landing, it is going to be rubbing that chassis plate on the ground and causing wear. All right, guys, so kind of just like that, we have our chassis plate protected. Now, this was pretty quick and dirty for the video here, but I'll kind of show you guys a little closer here. We've got it tucked here in the front, and it's doing its job. It is protecting all of the exposed screws in that chassis, and that's kind of what its job is. And to me, having the colored vinyl looks a little cooler than just, again, packing tape. And maybe that's just me, but again, you could do some crazy cool color, some bright neon color or whatever, and that would, you could customize it a lot more than you could with tape, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Now, one thing that I think I have noticed, the fact I'm running a white body and a white chassis protector, I think has caused me one issue. With the body on this, it is white. When this is flipped over, it's white. There was one time at a race where I was upside down, but very kind of awkwardly placed by the edge of the track. I believe I saw the corner marshal look down and look back away, because I think upside down, obviously with the wheels and tires on it, this thing looked like a white body of a vehicle sitting there. Now, yes, I understand it does look different, but in a quick glance, when you're corner marshaling on a track, I think the white is maybe a bad decision. Again, if it was some crazy bright color, that would maybe catch your eye a little bit better. But the fact I'm a white body with the white chassis protector, I don't think works well for me. But maybe that was just a fluke. Who knows? Like I said, I've got a ton of this vinyl that I need to use. So for the time being, I'm going to keep using it. So guys, hopefully this helps. If your local track requires chassis protectors, or you haven't even heard of that before, and honestly, even on dirt, I think I would almost want to, if I had a bunch of this vinyl, if you care about your aluminum chassis plate not being as torn up, scratched up, worn off the anodized coating, honestly think if you threw a new piece of vinyl on for each event, each race, I guess, or race day, I think your chassis plate would stay a lot nicer looking. Now, yes, the dirt and gravel or whatever you're driving on is going to rip this vinyl up extremely quickly, and maybe it wouldn't even last the whole day, but it's got to help some. So, I don't know, just a thought for you guys out playing on dirt. Might not be a bad thought or option if you care about keeping that nice chassis plate looking good. So guys, hopefully that gives you an idea on cheap or even cheaper chassis protectors for your carpet car or even your dirt car like we talked about. And yeah, I badly need to get these things back out on track so we can go racing again. And I still want to bring you guys along. I don't know if I want to do a chest mount camera. Somewhere I need to get the camera mounted so we can see how poorly I actually do drive these things. But yeah, until then guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.